So recently, I was started thinking about like the giants of North America, like the bones and what happened, because you see numerous articles from the early 1900s about bones that were discovered in North America, and not just in North America, but in various parts of the world, but mainly in North America. And they said they had red hair, sharp teeth, and so forth. Numerous articles from New York Times, everything. And some people believe the Smithsonian had dealings in it, but when I looked it up, I think it was like 2014, it said they had a court case, Smithsonian denied it. They tried to sue to say that their name was being slandered, all that jazz. So I said, well, what happened to them? And a lot of people say, oh, the Smithsonian destroyed them. I don't really think the Smithsonian had 100% dealings in it. Not saying that they didn't, but I don't think it was 100%. It's like, okay, briefly, say you get older and you go try to get a car and they say, oh, your credit is horrible, it's ruined. You're like, I never, like, had anything in my name. And then you come to find out your parents or somebody used your credit as a child. So I feel like maybe there's people that are real at the top, elite. I mean, these people are wealthy people. These people have been around probably since the Crusades and all that other stuff. The was it Templar Knights, all that stuff. Like, I mean, elite people that have gone in, stole stuff from the Holy Land and from other tribes, and this is where they get their wealth from, like taking precious jewels, like, so they could have used the Smithsonian name just to transport paperwork, things like that, so that years to come, people have been like, "Oh, the Smithsonian destroyed them," or or the Smithsonian put them on boats. I don't think they put them on boats. I think whoever did it made it appear like the bones were being transported on the boats, but I think they're still here in America. There's so many underground like cities and railways and caverns, and there's places to put these bones. Now, if you came across what you think was the descendants of the Nephilim, I don't think people would destroy them. I believe that they would hide them somewhere. Now, you got one group that maybe could want to protect them so that they wouldn't fall into the wrong hands. But usually, the people at the top, the ones that stole relics from, native groups and other groups of people, they weren't on missions to preserve. They were on missions like for themselves. Like, my. What kind of special powers does this have? Like, can I use it to preserve or have everlasting life? Like, so I don't think they were trying to protect it in that way. I think they were trying to protect it in the sense like, this is going to be for our group. We're going to study these bones and find out what they possess, what they have. Because if you found the descendants of the Nephilim bones, right? And then you read and you know the story, and you have read the story about how the angels came, well, the fallen angels came, and they had relations with the women of the earth, and these children were born, you know, extremely big, and they had certain abilities and powers. You're going to be like, well, what's in their bones? That's their DNA, right? And then if some of them still had flesh on them, because mummification, sometimes you still thinking about it. But anyway, sometimes you still find bodies that have flesh, or like blood, like with the woolly mammoths, like, because it's so cold, like it preserves them. So depending on how they were preserved in those mounds, who knows how intact their bodies still were. Then you got hair follicles, because they said their hair was red. So you got hair follicles. So what are you going to do? You're going to either, one, for a future, because they've been trying to do this for forever, clone. You're going to try to see if you put it with different DNAs, if you can clone them and bring them back, bring these children back. Or you ground their bones, you take whatever you can from them, you ground them and you make them to elixirs to heal and preserve you and your elite group and your elite group's family. Okay? So this is why I'm thinking like the bones I think are still here. I think they've been ground, not all of them, I think they've been ground down. And I think that some of them have been shipped to various elite people around the world and they use them as an elixir. Now, I don't think there's a whole lot left, and they probably just keeping a few to study them and to see what they can do. Just like how they're interested in bringing the dinosaurs back. Why would not be interested in bringing these monstrous, powerful creatures back? You know what I mean? Just like why would you want to bring a T Rex back? Really? I mean, they claim they're not gonna bring back certain dinosaurs. I've seen Jurassic Park. You know what I mean? Every time you people say something, you do the opposite. So, I don't know. That's my thought. That's my theory on it. I don't really think, like I said, Smithsonian had 100% dealings, but I do think they had a little bit of dealings. And I think that maybe somebody used their name. And I think that the bones are still here in North America, but they're hidden underground, and I think they're using their bones and DNA structure for certain purposes. That's my thought. What do you guys think?